Hey everybody, Rick Tamlin here. I am just going to do my tech moment to get myself to go live on Instagram. Bear with me as I click over there and go live at the same time. So um, here we go. I think I'm live there too. Okay, great. Happy, what is today? Wednesday, August 21st. My neighbor is rebuilding their deck. So sorry for there's a little banging noise if you can hear that in the background. Anyway, let's get right to it. And I'm going to make this pretty brief today. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, let me take a big deep breath. Actually, why don't we all do that for a second? I don't know about you, but it's, third week of August, man, it starts to pick up, and here we go. And right, let me just do a little check-in with my team, my amazing Jocelyn Flowers. Can you hear me okay? We're good to go? Okay, great. Sound is happening. She's doing thumbs up for me. So yay to the tech working. Okay, everybody. So yeah, everybody take a big deep breath. Let's just slow this all down for a minute. And maybe we can start today with just a moment of reminding you who you are. I'm going to get to a concept today about telling people what you do, but I thought I would just start with a reminder of who you are. So dare I go into the waters for a second of some concepts and some spiritual concepts or some truths about who you are. And so as you take a big deep breath, I invite you to consider these as who you really are. And who you really are and who we really are creative geniuses. And putting aside creative in terms of like the arts and painting and sculpting and photography and making movies, and I'm not talking about that. I'm just reminding you and reminding us all that we're creative geniuses. And if you're listening, by the way, and you want to write a comment into the Facebook chat or into the Instagram chat, Jocelyn will let me know that's happening, and I can respond to any questions or thoughts you might have. So that's the first thing. I just wanted to remind you that we are creative geniuses. You are a creative genius. How do I know that? You have created the life you have now. Just notice you have created the life you have now. Whatever form it looks, whatever's going on in it, can truly you want to look behind the curtain and go, I have created this life, whether I like all of it or not. But somehow your beliefs, your actions, your inner life is always reflected outside in our outer world. So I'm not going to get into that too deeply today, but I just wanted to remind you that when we forget that we are the creators of this, then sometimes we can get caught in the struggle of this, right? And so, there's things we struggle with. There's things we get confronted by. There's things that we don't like. And then there's things that are amazing and there's things that are fabulous. And, there's always that constant dance. But if you go really meta view for a second, you just always want to remember, what's my part in this? What's my part in this? I had a situation with a couple of clients this week where I had to own my part in something, right? It was like, it's like whatever's going on out there. And in this context for my clients, whatever's going on in them and the successes or not, I'm holding them, I'm working with them, I'm coaching them, I'm mentoring them. And I always have to look, what's my part in this? So I just always remind people and my clients, and now I'm reminding you on this Wednesday to keep asking, what's my part in this? What's my part in this, without any shame, without any blame, without any sort of spiraling down. It's more like it's an opportunity to go, okay, what's my part in this? And then of course, what do I want to do with this from owning that part of it? Okay. So, and now let me go to the title of this today. I know it shows up in Facebook and Instagram, is how to talk about what you do. So if you're follow me and you're in my world, you're probably in the coaching space, you're in the personal development space, you're in the leadership development space, you're in the impact development space. One of my favorite things to say to people these days is, you're in the impact development business. You want to help people understand their impact. You want to have people understand, the power they have and the influence they have and the difference they can make, right? So, sorry, I just have to say this out loud. This is just a weird inner thought. Completely distracted by my hair. So I have been in a different location for the last, 6 or 7 weeks. And the person I go to cut my hair, not nearby. It's really hard to find places. So, Joanne Stone, hello. I just saw that you're here watching. Hello, Joanne Stone. So anyway, distracted by my hair. Anyway, it is what it is, right? Can't wait to get back to my person again in a couple of weeks, and then we'll just be lopping all this off. Back to the topic at hand. So the topic at hand that I wanted to chat with you all about, if you're in that thought leader space, coaching space, and if you're following me, you probably are, right? And because that's the world I come from, right? I come out of the entertainment business many years ago, but then it morphed into coaching and training and speaking and authoring and wrote a book and all this personal growth stuff, right? Which I love it. I am just fascinated by looking into the depth and the breadth of the human experience to understand, how do we create what we want? What does that look like? How do I do that? What's the doing of that? What's the being of that? What's the energy of that? What's the essence of that? I find the entire topic just brilliantly fascinating, and of course dance with days where it's frustrating. But by the way, the antidote to frustration is fascination. Really, it is. So with that said, I just wanted to offer you a way to think about how you tell people what you do, because you go to a networking event and you talk to people online at the grocery store, whatever. You go to a dinner party. What do you do? And of course, we go to the role. We go, well, I'm a coach and I'm a trainer. I'm a speaker, and that's not a bad thing to answer, but it's not that interesting, right? It's not that, right? So here's an exercise I've done with my group. My year-long program, and something I've also I'm going to be doing at my event in the fall. Again, I'm going to do a 2.0 version of it. But the simple thing is to ask yourself the question. This might be a journaling exercise, or for some of you who like to talk out loud, like me, I have to talk it out loud, and then I'll have an iPhone nearby, and I will record it to capture it. But the question to answer to this will play out better when I just give you an example. Is to answer this question. Just ask. Oh my God. Ask this question. What do you want for people? What do you want for people? Right? When you ask the question rather than ask the question. Okay, really? Did he just say that? He did. When you ask yourself the question, what do you want for people? What comes to mind? Right? And, your own answer will be your own answer. But when you start to answer that question, that becomes a great informant of telling people what you do. And by the way, the places that can go, that could become copy for your website, that could become copy for an event you do, that could become copy for a speaking gig, it could become copy for your bio, right? So I just want to give you some places, the application of this, but to really what is it you want for people? Because when you speak what you want for people, the listener goes, that's me or it's not, right? And they don't get caught in it moves it away from the standard, I'm a coach, and then people kind of in their brain, they go, oh yeah, you're one of those people. Oh, I know what that is. Oh, I've heard of that. It just starts to handle all the assumptions. But when somebody asks you what you do, just go, well, before I tell you what I do, let me tell you what I want for people. And then, the form in which it comes in is coaching and it's speaking, and there's a book coming, but you answer the question, and I'll try to give an example in a minute here, but you start to answer the question of out loud, what do you want for people? And maybe you don't literally say that. Hello, Loretta Fox on Instagram. Nice to see you here. So, I'm just noticing, by the way, technology wise, and Jocelyn is an amazing online marketing person on our team. that's helping me understand this. But Instagram is getting more lives, viewers than Facebook these days. Just an interesting thing to note. So, for those of you that are into the social media, understanding the impact of that world. But back to the topic of what do you want for people? So I'm going to answer the question from my own perspective based on what I do in the world and what I sell into the world and what I offer into the world and my corporate trainings and my speaking events and my event that I'm doing in the fall and all the stuff that I put into the world. It pretty much all falls under the same umbrella or the same meta perspective of what I want for people. So I'm just going to go down that list, and the list changes sometimes. This is not a written down list. I didn't actually journal it this morning, but I did contemplate it this morning. So here's what I want for people. And right now, this is the people who are listening right now who are watching later. Watching later. So what I want for you is to know that you have all the creative power to generate exactly what you want in your life. We all are given that. What we do with it, how we do it, but that's what I know. That's what I want you to know about yourself. Okay, that's the first thing. What I also want for people is to want what they want. That it's okay to want what you want. What I also want for you, or people, we are people, you're watching. What I want for you is to know that when you put a lot of intention and attention and action into something, it will actually start to birth something. Will it always look the way you want it to go? Will it go perfectly? We all know that's not true. But I know when you give things intention, attention, and action, something is birthed. Something is created. That's what I want you to know. What I also want you to know is how you look at something is how you experience things, right? Hello, Tess and Sonny. Sunny, Sonny, Sonny. Hello on Instagram. Nice to see you here. If you're on Facebook, feel free to write a comment in the Facebook chat as well. You can just say hello, just so I can see you. I see a couple people watching right now. So what I also want for you, or what I want for people, is to know that help is the fastest path to success. Asking for help, let me be clear. Asking for help is one of the fastest paths to the success that you want. So I could go down this list, right? But to see how that might be an informant of an interesting answer to what I do. Because what I do is bring those perspectives, those truths to the world. And I sell them, I offer them, I talk about it in my coaching practice, I talk about them in my mentorship program, I talk about that in my mastermind program, and I talk about it at I think I already said my events. But it becomes the doorway that's a little bit more interesting for the listener to go, yeah, I like how he's thinking. I like what he's saying. Or by the way, or not. Here's the other thing. When you get really clear on what you want for people and you start to speak it, you're going to have people have all kinds of opinions about you. They're going to go, oh no, he's one of those woo-woo people. He's one of those coaching people. Who knows, right? But it actually will create clarity of an energy and a force field that people want to come towards it. Or by the way, I think there's three choices, by the way. They want to come towards it, closer. I want to follow him. I want to buy his book. I want to come to his event, right? They'll either want to come closer to it, based on your what do you want for people, or it'll just sort of go away. There's sort of a neutral quality to it, or it actually creates a repelling energy. Now, what I love about that is clarity of the right people, not needing of all the people. I used to be all caught in that. I need every human being to, buy this. I need 1 million people to buy my book. I got over that over time. It's like, wait a minute, I just need some people. I don't need all the people, right? Excuse me. So that's it. It's not any more complicated than that. And I invite you to jot it down, to journal. What do you want for people? Um, and start to let that become an informant of what you tell people what you do. So I hope that makes sense. Just put a comment in the chat here. Questions, comment, thumbs up. I don't know if my tech is working. I'm in StreamYard, by the way. It's a technology where I can stream to various platforms at the same time. So sometimes it doesn't always work. The comment section from Facebook, but let me know. Throw something in the chat just to see if it's working. So there you go. Don't need to overcomplicate this. I hope that's been helpful. But really, let yourself journal, maybe today, tomorrow, or talk out loud. Or by the way, when you get on a call, or you or maybe you're doing a training or a teaching or a speaking. I have said many, many times in rooms, virtual, live, so what I want for you all from this day, what I want for you from this interaction, what I want for you to understand is what I want for you. And people are like, oh, because wanting for other is the primary contextual skill. It's not necessarily a doing thing, but it's a primary context to operate from. Because when you want more for people and you want more for their life, you want more fulfillment for them, you want more love for them, you want more success for them, you want more money for them, whatever, that wanting for them is the doorway to designing what you do, what you can do for them, and the services that you provide. Now, to connect the dot, because I'm going to talk about something that's coming up next week, and I'm actually forgetting the date. Oh my God, let me just go to my calendar really quick. Hang on. I think it's Thursday. It's Wednesday. Yep. So next Wednesday, August 28th, I'm doing a pop-up training call with Laura Berman Fortgang. So here's a bit of the segue of the wanting for concept. And this came to me this morning, by the way, when I was chatting with one of my clients about helping them remember how do they talk about what they do, as they're reminding them to tell them, what do you want for people? And she had answers right away. So one of the people in the early industry of life coaching is my dear friend and colleague, Laura Berman Fortgang. A major player. She was on Oprah for a while. She really got out there with numerous books and really put a thumbprint on the life coaching industry as a real thing. And I give her so much credit for being one of the pioneers in the early years of getting this thing going called life coaching and leadership coaching. And now it's morphed into a multi-trillion-dollar business, as we know, and organizations are hiring coaches, and I don't need to go down the list. So we're doing a call together next Wednesday, August 28th at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. The link is going to be dropped in here in Facebook. It's going to be dropped in Instagram. Pretty simple, free call. We have a bunch of folks signed up already. Laura and I we're gonna do, it's lots of Q&A time, but we're gonna double click on our thoughts on supporting you to two parts, to sort of be a more engaging and, dare I say, dynamic coach, sort of the coaching side of it. What does that look like? And then part two is, of course, is the business side of it. Laura and I are now both in the, how do you have a more, how do you show up more and have more presence in the world with your message and using the media to have more people want to come towards you, whether they're hiring you one-on-one as a coach, whether they're hiring you as a speaker to come in and talk about the power of coaching, whether you want people to hire you to come in and do a workshop on coaching skills. So many angles on this that we want to address and answer for each of you, and your questions in that territory. So she decided, we connected recently, and we said, let's do a class for everybody, right? So there's the link. I think we have about, just numbers wise, I think we have about 65 people registered. Very excited about that. And you'll also hear about an opportunity that she and I are doing separately into our world, getting our message and our work out into the world at a deeper level. And I share that with you now because that's what I want for you. The ultimate thing I want for you, amongst many things, is for more people to experience the more of you. I know that's not grammatically correct, but there's a point to it. When more people experience the more of you, your philosophy, your ideology, your coaching, your speaking, your power, your presence, your energy, your beliefs, when more people experience more of that from you, through you, as you will start to up the game on attracting the right people into your world, whatever form it you are selling yourself, one-on-one, one-to-many, one-to-some, workshops, books, right? And Laura has been instrumental for me, following her and being a bit mentored by her over the years, of understanding. I was watching that happen when she was on Oprah, by the way. She coached a bit, but she spoke about the philosophy of what coaching was about and why it was needed, right? And that was more of an inspirational talk rather than just demonstrating coaching. Although I know she did that on Oprah as well. So that's a call she and I are doing next Wednesday. Registration, if you're on my email list, you'll probably get a couple more emails to register. It's free. You do need to register, because then we're tracking numbers of people, so we have the right Zoom links and all that stuff. So, okay, let's take a big deep breath. So, I'll encapsulate this with a final thought about this. This, again, the core belief of this brief training today is, when you hello, Cynthia Post on Instagram. Nice to see you here. Although I can't see you, I know specifically, but nice to know that you are there. Back to the key topic of letting yourself want more for people. And one of the concepts that I used to train as a coach trainer, and I am very proud and honored to have been a senior coach trainer for the Coaches Training Institute for about 25 years. Senior, all that means is I got old. I got old with the system. It was a remarkable ride, and still do some life coach training skills for organizations these days. But for the public space, have in the CTI community, have stopped training over there. But what I used to train, one of my philosophies that I got into the room a lot, and I don't know if it was mine, it was we always collaborated as leaders inside CTI. Coaches Training Institute, by the way, or Coactive Training Institute, just so you know the name. What was I going to say? Was the concept. Hello, Chris G. Hello, Tess and Sunny. I know I said earlier, and Loretta Fox and Joanne Stone. Don't know if you're all still here. Now I'm going to get to the phrase. Rick, get to the phrase. When you want more for your clients than they want for themselves, they will stay with you longer, because there's always a more. And I don't mean more working and not that kind of more, but the more richness of life, the more, and I mean more in the best sense of the word, more aliveness, more connectedness, more dynamicness, more creativity, more, all the words that we love, right? When you are that voice for your clients, of you want more of that for them, and you're there to help them move that forward and hold that agenda like nobody's business, because that agenda gets dropped by the individual. If you notice that, I have 3 people that I talk to keep this thing going, because the agenda gets dropped. I get busy, I get tired, I get lazy, I get business lazy. I just want to. I'm going to go off on a tangent for 1 second. Now I'm wound up. I need to stop in a minute, but. I don't. This word lazy can really trigger, and I don't mean to. I don't think any of us are lazy human beings, but I get business lazy. I get social media lazy. I get email lazy. I get lazy about the next book I want to write. Like it's not a. I use the word because it actually helps me understand. Oh, I see. I'm not a lazy person. I'm just being lazy about this thing because I want this life. I want this next thing. I want my next book to be into the world. I want this next training to happen. And I think about it and I think about it and I think about it, but I'm actually not putting a lot of action to it. And I know that's true for you at times. How do I know that? Because I'm just like you. So I think we have to keep finding it. Like, why am I doing this again? And that wanting more for you. And so that's why I'm speaking to it right now. What I want for you is all that creativity, all that wanting that you want is what I want for you. And want to hang out with me more in that world, come to my event in the fall. If you're on my email list, but we're going to talk about that, about what does it take to show up a lot, be the voice of something, dare to speak it into the world a lot, and have the world either come closer towards you, be neutral about it and sort of maybe ignore you, or actually unsubscribe to you. And that's the good news. And I know I'm repeating myself, but those are the three choices when you show up a lot, right? And so, there's a little marketing moment. That's why I work with people inside a year-long mastermind. It's called Produce You. Here's its tagline, where passion means business. So wanting for people, go journal. What do you want for people? And I don't even make it even stay in that category of what do you want for people in general, not what do you want for your clients. If you have clients right now, you want for your clients. But what do you want for people? And then you can start to niche it. What do you want for teams? What do you want for organizations? What do you want for leaders? What do you want for nurses? What do you want for burnt out people? Like you can start to niche it, but stay big, stay wide, stay meta view for a few minutes. Go, what do I want for people? So I'm not a big fan of the niche people thing. I am a fan of the niche concept for messaging. And when you get clear about what you want for people and you let yourself riff on what you want for people, I guarantee you become more engaging, you become more interesting, and people will go, I want some of that. More than not, to be honest. The more people will come closer to it or want to talk to you about it more. You'd be surprised. The more I talk about what I want for people, the more people have come towards me. That's what a book is, by the way. I know I'm, marketing moment. There's my book. But what I wrote in the book is what I want for people. And then I offered a philosophy on how to have that happen. What I want for people is to play a bigger game. What does that mean? They have a big impact with their life. They get to the end of their life and they look back and go, I created that. That's a bigger game context. And then I offered a philosophy and a methodology and a simple model to make that real, right? So this book it's a great example. I love that I caught that at the end here. It's a great example of what I want for people, is I want them to play a bigger game. Ironically, God bless, this is how it went. All of a sudden, there was one person in one workshop who said, this is a great workshop. I want to bring this into our organization. And I did it for one team inside this global organization. And then that one team told all of their other members on the system, inside the system. And all of a sudden, I was traveling around the globe for about 5 years for this one company, bringing the Bigger Game Workshop to all these different teams and organizations and keynotes. And it was a room full of 800 people, and then a room full of 20 people, and then a room full of 6 people, and then another room of it. Didn't matter. They were like, this philosophy and this ideology and this way of thinking is what we need in our system, because it opened up the aperture of creativity. So that all came out of what do I want for people, and that informed this book. And I want to make sure I do a shout out to the co-creator of the Bigger Game Philosophy, Laura Whitworth, who's no longer with us on this earth plane, but is certainly in my consciousness, certainly in my DNA, certainly lives in me as a resource for the rest of my life. Because she actually was the instigator of the name, and then she and I co-branded and co-created the model. I don't need to go into the details, but I wanted to make sure I did a shout out to her on this call. So very much an instrumental part of the Bigger Game Philosophy. And she was one of the co-founders of the Coaches Training Institute as well. So, okay, everybody, hope that's useful. Let me know, comments in the chat. I'll go off and check on Facebook and Instagram later. Let's do one final. Jocelyn, can you throw into the comments one more one more link to the Laura Berman Fort Gang call, which is next Wednesday, August 23rd. There we go. Thanks, Jocelyn, so much. Join me and Laura. Sometimes she goes by LBF, Laura Berman Fort Gang. Go check her out. Go look her up. Multiple bestseller books. Big player in the industry, and she and I are going to connect next Wednesday with lots of people joining us, and we're going to talk and go behind the curtain of like what's really going on now and how can we support you all with what's next in your own coaching practices, speaking practices, and training. Because it's I'll leave you with this final thought. By the way, Jocelyn and Chuck, my partner Chuck and Jocelyn, always are like, yeah, Rick, you always have one more thought, and I know it's a problem. The final thought is just think about it this way: as a person in the transformational space, which I think many of you are. You've heard that term: transformational conversations, training, teaching, philosophizing, supporting people to transform their lives. There's 4 pillars to that. There's 4 pillars to a truly successful, dare I even throw a number on it, multiple 6-figure business. I don't always like to do that, but I just kind of want to name it, right? So there's the coaching side. There's this, coaching, speaking, teaching, and writing, right? And when you get those 4 spinning plates sort of going, and they all can't happen at the same time. There's wrote a book that helped. Laura Berman from Fort Gang wrote a book, many books, put her on the map. So the book thing, but the other thing that is to think about in the writing space is writing an email or writing a newsletter to your people every Sunday. I do one every Sunday. Many of you probably get it. So writing, speaking, teaching, and coaching, 4 pillars to your transformational business. Lots to unpack there. That's a whole teaching training. I have lots of ideas and lots of creativity and lots of mentorship and wisdom from that over the years, in each of those pillars. I like to call it pillars of your platform, right? Here's your platform up here, and it has 4 pillars that hold up the platform. So more to come on that. If you have questions about that, reach out, Facebook, and you'll hear about joining me in my event in October, which is very much about those 4 pillars. Okay. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. Sending you all peace, ease, love, health, and wealth to you, your families, your organizations, your teams, your loved ones, your states, your country, and dare I say, can we please hold the globe in a bigger context, of course, that we're holding peace and ease for all, with all the good work that we do. So thank you for the good work you do, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. More to come. See you next Wednesday. Same bad time, same bad channel. No, I'm showing my age. Bye. Hang on, I have to actually stop various. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. I am ending the live stream over here.